what's up you guys? Yes, today okay, today's video is gonna be a bit of a spoopy one because we're talking about scary stories. And by like scary stories, I'm not meaning like one time I saw a ghost. Actually, that's kind of what it is. So I have a few scary stories to tell, some involving ghosts, ghouls, and demons and such. And one where I got kidnapped in another country. So that might be coming out soon. But today, we're talking about spookiness. Okay, so let's start off with me saying that I don't necessarily believe in ghosts and ghouls and whatever. Because like, yo, ghosts, whatever, that's stupid, that doesn't make no sense. But on the other hand, I'm like, yeah, ghosts, ghouls, yeah, that makes so much sense, you know? So this story takes place around maybe mid last year. So at the time, I was having like really bad sleeping problems. Like I couldn't sleep. Like I just wasn't sleeping at all. Like it was just insane. Like for a number of reasons, like stress and stuff like that. But I'm not gonna get into it. But what came out of that was this really weird experience with sleep paralysis. So this sort of happened really weirdly because, you know, at this time I had my YouTube video playing on my iPad, which is like right there. You can't see it. But I had my YouTube video playing, and then I was like, yo, I'm actually starting to fall asleep. Like, holy crap. So I closed my eyes, and then I was only asleep for like less than a minute, you know? Because like on my YouTube video, like I saw it, and then I fell asleep, and when I woke up, the timestamp, like the time was a little bit off. Like it was like moved forward like a minute and a bit. So I'm like, okay, I think I know what this is. This is sleep paralysis, right? And then while I'm like in this state of like half sleepness, I was kind of just like in awe. I was like looking around like, holy crap, I can, you know, the standard sleep paralysis stuff where like, you know, you can see around you even though you're only facing one way and stuff like that. So I'm like crazy, like this is insane. And then time sort of was moving weirdly because the next thing I know, the video is ending. It was like a 10-minute video. I was like 4 minutes into it, but then just like that, it was done. And then I'm like, oh, okay, the video's ending. And then, you know when like, you know your phone and you don't use it for like a second, and the screen goes dim, and then it turns off. So, as soon as my screen went dim, I felt this uneasy feeling. And like I was like, yo, this isn't good, right? Like, because I was like, from a stage of being in awe, being just so enthralled by this weird phenomenon, to just utter dread in just that split second. I'm like, what's going on? What's happening? And then I sort of look up, and in this doorway right here, right there, like my door was open. You can see my hand. My door was open, and I could see something sort of like materialize out of nowhere. I'm like, nah, this isn't happening. No, like this is not happening. Like I am not gonna get eaten or something, because I'm sort of like, yo, holy crap, this thing's here. And then as soon as I like sort of like start to get really like scared, the screen turns off. Like it's not like the whole room is dark. Like there's a window here, and like it's like there's a street light right in front of my house, and then you can see sort of like the light from where the curtain comes through, so you can sort of see the wall that the camera's placed on. So like I'm just like, I can still see the silhouette, and then it's sort of like just a silhouette of something, and then when the light turns off, it's sort of more defined. It's a more defined silhouette. It was so scary that I just wanted to scream, but in my mind I'm screaming, but I know that my mouth isn't moving. So in my mind I'm like, yo, nah, no. As that's happening, like when I'm just screaming, it just sort of like it moves nearer to sort of where I'm standing right now. So like right here. And I start to see a little bit more of it. It's got like that triangular-ish body, so it's like thin and then like thick at the bottom. and then it looks like it has like folded, like, you know, like wings like folded in. It looks like it has that. And I'm like, yo, that's a straight up demon, you know? Like, I'm like screaming my head off, but like in my mind, but like my mouth isn't moving, so I'm like struggling. And up until this point, I didn't even realize that I wasn't moving because I was just so like enthralled by this feeling. And then I started to feel claustrophobic, and like no, and like I just wanted to move, I just wanted to scream. I like there's like a fight or flight thing, and I just wanted to like get out of there or just knock it out or something like that. Probably just pee myself. And then like it was just so this undescribable feeling of just fear and dread and then like claustrophobia, and it's just all bottled into one, this horrible feeling. And then it sort of moves a bit closer to my bed, like the foot of my bed right there, and it's sort of just like really tall. I'm not the tallest guy, but it was just like, it wasn't to the roof, but it was like maybe a couple like 30 centimeters from there, and it was just so horrifying to just look at it. You know, I was like so scared, and I was like breathing, but I wasn't breathing because like, I don't know, it was just this really weird feeling. And then like I'm just like like instead of just like going no, that's not happening, I was just straight screaming. I was like, yo, I was like straight insane, you know. I was going ham in my mind. I was going like no, yo, like just straight screaming. And then it sort of gets taller. So it was already really tall, and then it sort of was like, not like, it wasn't leaning over or anything, it was just like going straight up. And then I was just going crazy. I was yelling. I was going like just like as loud as I could, but not at all. You know, it was just like this horrible feeling. I know I've been saying that a lot, but it's just this indescribable thing. And then I wake up, and like when I wake up, I'm still screaming, but it's kind of like this hilarious sort of like, what? And just because of how dumb I sounded, I kind of just snapped out of like the fear. I was kind of like, that was really dumb. So then I was kind of just like sitting there for like the rest of the night, just contemplating, just like thinking like, what did I just see? Like, what was I seeing? What was I feeling? What was this entity that was looming over my room? And then I didn't sleep for the rest of the night, and then I thought that was it. Like, I thought that was the last time I'd ever have sleep paralysis, but it wasn't. But like, this was like the most notable one because the first time I had it, and it was the scariest one. Like, the other times it was just, you know, like the room getting darker, and that was it, and then I just wake up. But then I was sort of done with it. Like, I was just done having sleep paralysis, and then I was like getting like normal sleep times, and then whatever. And then I started talking to this girl, and you know, we was FaceTiming like every other night. But it was like FaceTime from like 8 o'clock to like 3 a.m. I mean. So like it was like this really messed up sleep schedule. And like, I don't know, like one night she just fell asleep on me. And I'm like, okay, whatever. But yeah, she just fell asleep. And the way she had her laptop set up was that I could, like, her face took up most of the screen, but like behind her was like a corner of her room. So sort of like, if my face was here, you would be able to see that corner of the room. But that's not where her bed was, like, whatever. And then like, I was like, yo, okay. Nah, she was asleep. I'm gonna fall asleep as well. And then like, I'm not gonna hang up because whatever. I was tired, wasn't thinking straight. And then I just fell asleep. And then I woke up again, not even like 2 minutes later, you know, it was the same sort of pattern going on. And I look over at the top of the screen to see the time, and it was only like, you know, like a couple minutes after I fell asleep. And then as I'm looking there, in the corner of the screen, I see this triangle-ish shaped body figure apparition with the folded wings. Because her light was on and I could see it clear as day. it was like some freaking Mothman, Goatman mixture, plus yeah, thick ass booty or something. But like, it was just like this horrible amalgamation of everything that I was like ever told to fear. Moths and goats, you know what I'm saying? So like, there's a shadow outside my room and I don't like it. And so I'm just kind of like in awe of what I'm seeing. And then as I'm sort of looking at it, I look at her face, because I'm like seeing like, is she awake? Is she seeing what I'm seeing? Even though she's facing me. And then I could see like her face is like from peaceful to like sort of like scrunched, like she was like, you know, she was feeling something, like, you know, like, and she was just not, she was probably having a bad dream or something while this was happening. And I was like, holy crap, like something is going on. And then as I look back at her, it's moved sort of to behind her, so right up against her bed. And like it's like right behind her. She's sleeping, it's right taller, like I can't see its head at the moment because it's like the way the camera's set up. And then it's just like right behind her, and I'm like, no. She's gonna die tonight. Like that's it. Freaking Freddy Krueger got a soul, and now freaking Nosferatu is like looming over her, gonna just take her out. And then I'm just like, no, this isn't happening. This is not happening. And I look at her face again, and then she's like more into like, she's like in more distress than she was like a second ago. And I look sort of back up to see the looming thing, and it's not even lying to you. This all might sound like dumbass freaking just bullcrap right now, but like, she's asleep, and this thing is looming over her, dead set. Like, that much space between his freaking goat ass moth looking face and her face. And I'm like, yo, holy crap. I'm like, no, she's gonna die today. I'm just yelling her name in my mind. I'm like, yo, dude, wake up, dude, wake up, dude, wake up. But she can't hear me because I'm not saying anything. And I can feel like my chest sort of like compressed down. I'm like, no, this is not happening, She's gonna die tonight. I'm gonna die tonight. Everyone's dying tonight. And then I look at the time, and like, not even a second has passed. Like, it feels like it's been like freaking 10 minutes that I've been watching this thing sort of maneuver its way around to this person. And then I look at the time, and I look at that, and it's just like looming over her. And I'm like, holy crap, I gotta get up, I have to do something, I have to yell, I'm like forcing myself to wake up. I'm like, wake up. And I look up. I'm not even lying to you. I'm on my bed, like, I'm over here. And like, I'm like laying down, and like my screen here, my screen's right here. I'm like asleep, and then I look up, and I see freaking Baby Bell, freaking Goat Man above me. Like, it's staring at me. And then I'm like, holy crap. I look at the screen, he's there. I look up, he's there. And then I wake up, and I just start crying. Like, this was the most intense thing I've ever felt. This feeling on my chest is just like insane. I just start bawling my eyes. I look at the thing, and then she's, you know, sort of went from a like distressed, sort of like scared face, and I see it morph into like a more like peaceful sort of face. And then I'm like, holy crap. So I just start, I'm sweating, I'm crying, I'm just a mess. I guess I woke up, I guess I fell asleep, and then I woke up in the fetal position, because I must have just fell asleep like that. And then I wake up to this person FaceTiming me, 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, okay, except before it makes so much noise and wakes everybody up. And then she's like, yo, why did you turn off the FaceTime? I'm like, I must have done it by accident or something, because I didn't want to spook her out or anything. And then she looks straight into the camera, so it feels like she's looking straight into my eyes. And then she says, I had this really, really weird dream. And I'm like, what kind of dream? And then she's like, I don't know, I felt like this monster was just breathing heavily over me, it just around me in my room. And like, she described it as being this dog-like figure, and I'm like, okay, I get it, like dog, goat, long snout sort of looking thing. The dog-like figure with wings. I'm like, wings, there's another connection. And then she's like, yeah, and it was just standing over me, but it feels like this energy was around me, just engulfing me, and I couldn't feel anything. And then I was like, wow, that's weird. And then she's like, yeah, it is pretty weird. So I didn't actually end up telling her that I had this weird sleep paralysis experience that had her involved in it. So I didn't tell her anything because I didn't want to scare her, because this was like someone should make a movie about this. Like, this was just so insane, like what happened. I just didn't want to, mess her up. So I kind of was like, wow, that's really weird. It was just a dream though. And it's like, yeah, it's just a dream. And then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go now. Okay, bye-bye. And then I turned off the thing. I told her I was gonna have a shower or something, I don't know. And I just turned off the FaceTime, and I'm just in awe and in shock and just absolutely just awestruck. And like, I'm just, holy crap, it was just like this insane thing. So then I opened my curtains, and you know what I see? Do you know what I freaking see? I see the biggest freaking moth I ever seen on the outside of my window. And this thing was freaking huge. Like, where I live and in my house, the only moths I do see are the really, really tiny ones. The really, really tiny ones that are like in like pantries and stuff. Like, that's the only moth I've ever seen in like the past, I don't know, maybe 6 years that I've been living in this house. So seeing this huge ass freaking bulky ass freaking gym everyday moth, I was like, this is an omen. This is a freaking like, this is some Super Saiyan freaking Ultra Instinct omen going on right now. That I'm just like, nah. So I freaking shut my curtains again, and I just leave my room, and I haven't slept like from then up until maybe the start of the year, maybe week 2. I didn't sleep in this room. I was like, I went to my room, then I said goodnight to my mom. I went to my room, and then at like 1 o'clock, I went to the living room, and then at like 3 o'clock, I went back here. Just so I didn't want to spend, the freaking witching hour in this freaking room where like freaking demons are like looming over me and my friends. So I'm like, nah, this is it. This is what's happening. But I haven't had sleep paralysis since, because me and that person stopped talking, so I went back to my normal sleep schedule. School picked up, so I actually had to wake up early and go to sleep early. So everything just fell back into place, and it was like this really, really weird thing. And it's been baffling me until today. Yeah. Thank you so much for sticking around this far into the episode. I know it was a really, really long one. Maybe I should have split it up into 2 parts, seeing as there are 2 parts of the story. But I guess we'll learn from here. So, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. Me llamo Lucas. Adios.